Hey YouTube, what is up guys? Moose Eternal here, and today I'm going to show you guys some of my favorite guns to use within Destiny 2. Alright, first we're looking here at the ignition code. Great little kinetic grenade launcher. I didn't get a chance to get the mountaintop before I got sunset, so this became kind of my replacement for said mountaintop. And it is also a great little debuff weapon to add to with breach and clear in combination, to where you can still do the damage to the boss, add the debuff, swap in the weapon, get some more damage off, or if you want to clear out a group of adds, does that as well. If you want to do damage to a major or a guardian within their super, does that well. Alright, as you can see here, a quick draw and vorpal weapon, great little combo. This thing has not failed me. This thing has been absolute fun little grenade launcher to use. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Blast radius is alright. Reload speed masterwork at tier 3 right now because, you know, I really had a chance to fully upgrade it, so that's kind of what it is. But honestly, there are some really good rolls out there. Blinding nades works really good. With me, I would have had blinding nades and spike nades as well. But this thing right here is meant strictly for damage, not, you know, for stunning or disabling champions. This thing is meant to disable them permanently. This thing's meant to stun and disable enemies permanently. If you catch my drift here. Now, this actually came out within season of the Splicer, which is the current season. So this is definitely one I would be looking for because it's fun, easy to use, easy to shoot, and on top of that, if you get a direct impact hit, it's an automatic detonation. So definitely be looking for one of these. Definitely feel free to add any of the weapons here to your arsenal, to your shopping list if you want to get them. Alright, these are ones to definitely look for. Alright, so next we are going to be taking a look at another weapon that come from this season as well. This was actually the auto rifle that come from season of the Splicer. And we are going to be looking at the Chroma Rush auto rifle. This is my personal Chroma Rush. This is what's considered the PvE god roll. But personally, you know, I would have had a different magazine augment and a different masterwork for it. I would have had, you know, reload speed or stability. But this gun right here is a laser. You activate that heating up perk, this thing becomes a laser beam. This thing probably is one of my favorite autos to use if I need to get precision kills, and it has yet to fail me. It has yet to, you know, disappoint me. On top of that, with it being a 720 and a kinetic, I can have the Reckless Oracle kind of firepower in my kinetic slot and have something else in my energy slot to where I can still have that, you know, bullet hose firepower whenever I need it. And I had this set up with Take and Spec because I was doing an expunged Delphi run for someone and was helping them out. So I wanted to use this as well as something else. I think I was using my Salvo as well, but this was a great little compliment to that. Take a quick sip of my tea here. And to be quite honest, this gun has yet to disappoint me. And you activate Rampage as well, along with heating up. This thing is just, it's nuts. This gun is bonkers. This gun is just everything you'd want in a 720 kinetic auto. Alright. Now, with it being, you know, a seasonal weapon, it's not going to be sunset, so you're good there. This is one, like I said, definitely look for. Alright. This is one to definitely look for your PvE collection. There are some really good PvP rolls out there. I just don't have any of them. Alright. Because anytime I get a new Chroma Rush, unless it's higher light, I dismantle it. Because this is the one I want to keep. Alright, so next one we are looking at is going to be, maybe a surprise for you. We are actually going to be looking at the Heritage Shotgun. This came out from Deep Stone Crypt. 65 RPM shotgun, kinetic slug with a twist. It starts at 7 rounds. Reconstruction kicks in, it goes up to 14 rounds. This thing is nasty. At that, with a boss spec, your big baddie is going to feel this one. He's going to regret it. Alright, it's a great all-around setup as well. I've talked to some PvP players that I know, and they really like the setup I have on this one. Some hardcore PvEers like myself really dig this setup. Only thing is, mine does not have recombination, otherwise this would have been the absolute best one to get. Now, with it being, you know, snapshot as well as Reconstruction. I can use this pretty much wherever I wanted to. Like if I wanted to go into Gambit, use it, I could. I could go into Crucible and I'd be somewhat okay, but I'm not a big Crucible. I'm not a Crucible player, so it's kind of just relegated itself to PvE. If I want to have a good kinetic shotgun in my good kinetic shotgun in my loadout, I can do that. If I want to do boss damage paired with one of the other shotgun that's listed in here, and the grenade launcher that I'm going to be showing you as well, oh yeah, this thing does a trick. Now, this thing has come out from Deep Stone Crypt. If you want to try to farm for one of those, get your team together, get you some buddies together, and run DSC. It is an easy raid, fun raid to do. You can farm spoils and, you know, save up your spoils and keep getting heritages until you try to get one like this, because trust me, it won't disappoint you. Reconstruction Killing Wind, not the best perk to go. Reconstruction Snapshot is probably, this is my personal favorite one. I haven't tried a lot of the others, but this is one that I personally really enjoy using, along with the fact that it's, you know, a hard-hitting kinetic shotgun. The last really good kinetic shotty that we had was Threat Level, and that thing was a beast. It was basically a moddable Aikilo shotgun. Now, as opposed to this one in particular, if we're doing Tanix Phase 2, or, you know, if we're going the slug shotgun route for Templar or Atheon, this is one I use. This is the very shotgun that I use. Alright. On top of that as well, from like if I'm dealing with majors, or I'm dealing with mini bosses and strikes or something, oh yeah, this is the one I'm going to pull out. I'm going to definitely, you know, make them regret coming across me with this gun, because this is one of the nastiest shotties I've come across. With an insane perk tree that you can get for it, it can have several different flavors to it, but it can also be a really just nasty gun overall. Now, there are some other weapons from DSC that I like, but this is one that really stuck out to me the most. So definitely feel free to farm that raid for some really amazing guns, and definitely keep looking around. Now, this next gun is one that I have had since Season of the Worthy. I believe it is. It's from when we did the Warmine bunkers and all that jazz. But this next one is actually an auto rifle that I kept because of just its uniqueness, just how it felt, and just I fell in love with it. Alright, does anyone remembers the Seraph weapons? Yeah, this is one of my personal favorites. This right here. And we are going to be looking at the 7th Seraph Carbine. 4 times a charm, rampage. This is an all-around great PvE setup. I've used this gun in many raids, and it has performed flawlessly. It has been absolutely just a little joy to use. You can use this with Warmine cell builds and do massive damage real quick to a wide area. Or if you want to use this thing as just a standalone weapon, it's really good, really stable. Range is really good on it. Reload speed, it was my masterwork on this one. And to be quite honest with you, I have had no complaints with it being a 450. Your stability, your accuracy is going to be a bit different than, say, something like the Chroma Rush from earlier. So you're going to be able to put your shots where you want them more, instead of, say, something along the lines of, like, you know, just spraying bullets everywhere. You can be a lot more precise with it. You can almost use something like a little mini scout rifle as well. And the fact that, like I said, it's 450, you know, 40 round magazine, pretty good mag. You can also swap it over and do a major or, you know, minor spec on it. That's the only two I'd really recommend for 7th Seraph Carbine. But honestly, I've shot several of these, and they felt alright, but this one, to me, it felt the best. With 4 times the charm and rampage on it, this gun felt phenomenal. This gun right here honestly felt, to me, one of the best I've ever used. And it stays in my inventory right as of right now. This gun is actually on my Titan right now, and has not left my Titan in a very long time. Believe it or not, before I made this video, I had this gun in my vault, and I took it back out, tried it out, and forgot why I put it in there because this thing was just so good. It felt so clean to use. The sight picture is also really nice on it for PvE use. Got a really clear, easy to read reticle. And it's actually a fun little gun to use. And with it being more predictably vertical like the precision frames are, it is going to be very, very easy to use. It's very all around. The all around utility of this gun is it's unmatched in any auto rifle. Well, except for one that I'm gonna have mentioned that's gonna be in the energy slot later. So I've got a few more little surprises in store for you guys that I think you guys are really going to like. So now we are going to move on to the energy slot, and we're going to be looking at a shotgun from this season. For one of the seasonal weapons, and honestly, I have no complaints. This gun has been a lot of fun, and actually really, really, really just, it makes me smile every time I use it. Alright, so now we are actually looking at the Sojourners Tail. This is a elemental slug shotgun with dragonfly and auto-loading holster. This is the roll I had, and honestly, I love it. 70 round magazine, reload speed, masterwork, boss spec. I was 10x phase 2 is what I was last time I used this gun, and this thing has been just an absolute joy. The dragonfly works really good for clearing out ads too, as well as doing damage and spreading that damage around. And on top of that, I like watching enemies explode. It's fun. This thing is, honestly, for ease of use, the sight picture is really good. Fire rate's really nice. It does kind of want to drift a little bit, but I mean, that's going to happen with a shotgun. It's going to be a little bit more kind of, you know, it's going to be a little bit more violent recoiling, but at the same time, it's all around. It makes up for it on the other end. When you lay that slug into something, it's gonna go reeling back and feel it, and especially if you chain a precision hit with it and cause the violent explosion that's gonna follow afterwards. This gun has yet to let me down. I've taken this gun to lost sectors and done what I like to call a shotgun only challenge, and this thing has performed flawlessly. Because not only is it great for clearing out ads, it's great for clearing out groups of ads in a hurry. Combine that with Dragonfly spec and energy accelerant. It's fun. This thing is ridiculous. This thing is nutty. Alright. So we're going to look at another weapon now that actually, this one here is going to surprise you guys. I don't tell you what it is, but this one is definitely going to surprise you. Because as some of you guys know, I don't use this archetype a whole lot. And I think you're really going to be surprised by it. Alright, time's up. We are looking at the Salvo. Sight, I use this one a lot. As you can tell by the kill count. This thing is just ridiculous. This thing is bonkers for a breech load weapon. It's a breech load that hits like a heavy. I like the versatility of it because it makes it very adaptable and user friendly to whatever situation you want. Because you could have Ambitious Assassin, Vorpal Weapon, get 2 high damage shots off on a boss, Demolitionist, Chain Reaction, and you can swap those back and forth. As you see here, I have Ambitious Assassin, Chain Reaction, because a little something about Chain Reaction. When you kill one enemy, others around the enemy explode extremely violently in a conflagration of arc explosions. So instead of killing 1 to 3 or 4 ads, you can get about 8 to 10 if you do everything correctly. Like your throwaway, I'll lag people out of the game with it. It is that nutty. Now, also with that, with Ambitious Assassin, you have 2 rounds of that ready to go. You have that backup round of that same capability ready to go. This thing is an ad clearing beast. You can also apply the breach and clear debuff as well. So this is a really good all-around grenade launcher for general use. And it's also really good in just every aspect that you want to use it in. This is probably one of my top picks right here. Alright. Now, this next weapon is going to kind of throw you guys for a curveball. I don't use this archetype a lot. Alright? I don't use the archetype a whole lot. But this one here is going to change my mind a bit. Now, this one here is actually a raid weapon that comes from the Vault of Glass. We are actually looking here at the Vision, the Found Verdict. Sorry, I use this one a lot too. I got you guys again. I gotta mess you guys a little bit. This thing, for a shotgun, it is mean. The impact is, oh my god, yes. An aggressive frame, Vorpal weapon. You can get this thing with 1-2 punch. And on top of that, for you guys who are in Vault of Glass a lot, this gun will one-tap oracles. Even with it being, you know, a shotgun. This thing will one-tap oracles. Feel free to use my advice and have this in your loadouts for the oracle encounter. But if you want to use the one with 1-2 punch, I also just combine that with, say, your Syntheseps, your Necrotic Grips, your Liar's Handshakes, to really be just a nasty combo all around. Now, this one here, you can get the boss damage off, you can get the Guardian damage and super off at alright range. But at the same time, you know, you've also got the fact of it being a shotgun, so shotgun ranges are going to be a little bit lower than, say, you know, your scout rifle or, you know, your auto rifle ranges. So that's something else you got to contend with as well if you're going to use that in, say, PvP. Or do something like a Nightfall on Arcsinge Week or something. So, in a sense, this gun itself is pretty good. Pretty fun. Good little Oracle Tapper. Good little Arcsinge weapon as well. But overall, this is one that I would definitely look for. Surplus, a Vorpal weapon, this exact role, I would definitely keep. Grab a quick drink here. And definitely go on with something with a few other weapons for us. Now, this next one here. Alright, now this next one here, I really don't use this archetype a whole lot. So, I'm just going to let you guys try to figure it out. And figure out if I'm joking this time or not. I had to get you guys twice, you know, see if you guys are really paying attention and see how well you guys know me or not. But this next one, pretty interesting. This next choice here, we are going to be looking at the Vision of Confluence. This one, this archetype, I do not use a lot. I don't use scout rifles a lot, but this one here is changing my mind slowly. Every trigger pull is changing my mind on scout rifles. Now, this particular scout full auto rewind rounds is actually really fun because it awards precision hits. And on top of that, you know, I use this a lot for like the Atheon encounter for when I'm hitting the oracles with the Precise Oracle Disruptor mod. This thing is actually like 2 or 3 tapping oracles every time. It's a 180 scout with 15 round mag, so 3 oracles or 3 shots per oracle. It's about 9 rounds. But you can also use this to clear out some of the harpies and throughout the raid and some of the smaller adds and smaller goblins. With the anti-barrier scout mod, you can use that up in GMs for the barrier hobgoblins. It's a really nice little scout. I have no complaints from this gun. No other drawbacks. Honestly, I do want one with full auto dragonfly or firefly. Sorry, just for my own personal fun use. To the keen eye, if you look very carefully, this thing does look like the Treads Upon Stars. There you go. Because the Treads Upon Stars was actually based off of the Vision of Confluence from early Destiny 1. So, feel free. Feel free to take that knowledge and share that with you. Share that with your friends. Now, this next one is one I put up one hell of a fight to get. It actually has a pretty fun little story behind it. I heard about this one and I wanted to see what the hype was, and it has not let me down. Alright, this next gun we're going to be looking at here is going to be none other than, wait for it, the Summoner. This particular auto rifle here is honestly one of my favorite rolls of auto rifle that I've ever gotten, because this one here has been with me on about 95 Garden of Salvation runs. With the elemental capacitor and overflow combo, you can have 84 rounds out of an auto rifle and be really stable shooting with it. Almost to the point of where people think you're using aimbot. And I'll use this gun in GOS a lot, DSC a lot. A lot of other raids and stuff that I'll use it with. Though on a minor spec, this thing's an ad clearing little beast. It's a bullet hose. The bullet hose with a bad temper. And on top of that, being solar element, sorry. On your solar essential weeks, this thing is going to be absolutely just bonkers. This particular gun right here, I heard the hype. I got in contact with some heavyweight trials players, and this was a 3-win bounty that weekend. So I went and I got it, and oh, it was a fight and a half to get. But this thing has not let me down. The sight pictures like that of the 7th Seraph carbine, and with the elemental capacitor, it changed the behavior of the gun depending on your subclass. So I use Void a lot for raiding. This thing has been one of my all-time favorite auto rifles to use. Alright, so now we're going to move into the bigger, heavy slot. And this one, you notice I said guns. Notice I said guns, right? There's a sword that has definitely caught my eye. Alright? The Crown Splitter. You can get some pretty disgusting rolls on this one, like you see here. Relentless Strikes, the Vorpal weapon. Combine that with Energy Accelerant. This thing will hit for 350,000 on a charge attack. Alright? We're not talking a normal, special elemental swing. We're talking a full-on Crota slam with this sword. At that, you're running around with basically a 7.5 foot long sword that with Energy Accelerant, you'll be able to one-tap overload champions, one-tap barriers, wyverns, what wyvern? Bosses, you'll take a chunk of their health bar off by yourself. Unstoppable champions, 2 hits. How do I know? I've done it. I've had friends swear that I was cheating and hacking. Nope. I told them, look at the sword, look at my mark. Energy Accelerant, they're just like, oh, that thing. So combine that with a Breach and Clear grenade launcher mod from someone else, and you'll be doing about, I want to say, 500,000 damage per heavy attack. Combine that with, say something like Divinity, yeah, it's gonna hurt. So, speaking of, unusual heavy weapons, as you guys know, I like my machine guns. This next one is going to be a little peculiar. I'm going to let you guys take a look at it, figure out what's wrong with it. Alright? So we are going to be looking at the Corrective Measure. If you look very carefully at this gun, you'll see the weird part about it. Rewind rounds, Firefly. This thing, when you start proccing Firefly on ads, they're going to explode and it's going to spread to other enemies. You are going to tear through an entire legion of ads in relatively short amounts of time. Now, combine that with, say, like your Action War Rig, where you get dual machine gun reserves. Your ammo reserves are going to go a lot further up. Put a backup mag on this particular roll here, you're going to be looking about 69 rounds, I want to say. I know, I'm waiting for someone to make the joke. Alright, there, you had your opportunity to make the joke. I wish mine here would have had a magazine augment, like, you know, appended mag or extended mag. So yeah, that's the main thing about it. So, but really, it's a good overall machine gun, 450 RPM, very stable gun, unlike the next gun that is going to be up on the list, which that one is a bipolar version of this one. And to be quite honest, I really like the 450 machine guns because they're a lot more stable, a lot more accurate. You can get your shots where you want them a lot easier. And it makes things a little bit easier, especially for heavy machine gun users like myself. So this next gun is also another Season of the Splicer weapon that I've kind of liked, but at the same time, it's kind of a weird relationship with this gun. And to be quite honest, this thing is like the Corrective Measure if you give it Red Bull. Alright. So we are going to be looking at another heavy weapon from Season of the Splicer, and we are going to be looking actually at the Shattered Cipher. This particular gun here, backup mag, extended mag, you get 109 rounds, 900 rounds a minute, all the same fire rate as the heir apparent, but in a legendary form, rapid fire frame. And tunnel vision rampage. Honestly, tunnel vision is a weird perk because you have to get a kill, reload, and then you can use the tunnel vision perk. I wish I could get one with heating up, but the game is being kind of, you know, stingy and not doing that. So tunnel vision does work on this gun, and it doesn't. Yes, it increases stability, but at the same time, you know, it doesn't increase it enough. Heating up would have been a better option on this particular gun, in all honesty. But at the same time, you know, beggars can't be choosers at the moment. So right now, this is the best one I can get. But honestly, this thing is like if Recluse grew up and got angry. Alright, yeah. Those of you who remember Recluse, there you go. You'll hate me later. Now, as for my personal thoughts, this thing is an absolute just ad clearing monster. Smaller tier ads, you're going to tear through them with this thing. Now, this next gun we're going to look at is actually a grenade launcher. It was from an old raid. It was actually from Season of the Forge, from the raid that dropped from their Scourge of the Past. And this particular grenade launcher, yes, there's your first hit. It has actually been one of the single most game-changing weapons to ever come out within Destiny 2. Now, we are going to be looking at none other than the infamous Anarchy. This particular grenade launcher here, not only is it a grenade launcher, it is also a trap weapon. It is also a weapon that you can use to block off doorways. You can use to turn doorways into booby traps. You can stick one on the ground, one to a champion or a boss, and keep chaining damage to him. Or you could chain damage between two while doing damage on a boss. And you can, with this season in the Breach and Clear artifact mod, you can apply that debuff as well as doing the tick damage on the boss. So, does that give you a general idea of what this gun is capable of doing? And oh, on top of that, you can also stick your friends with it too, and basically play jump rope with lightning, which is something kind of funny that you can do. But it's very versatile, very good in all aspects of the game. I've seen people in Gambit be total jerks with this gun. I mean, I'm talking total full-on bullies with this gun. Like, they'll watch from where an invader's going to come, stick 1, 2, 3, Vader runs in, zap, vaporized. And I'm just like, oh, that's dirty. They'll stick 2 of them to a boss, start, and then swap over to another weapon and start going to town on the boss. Mechanics Phase 2, this is a common weapon to use. Atheon, Templars, this is a common weapon to use. Alright, and on top of that, you pair that breach and clear with this next weapon, you have a pretty nasty combo. Alright, someone's using this with breach and clear and this next weapon, you have a pretty nasty combination of weapons to use for raid boss damage, or GM boss damage, or primeval damage even. And the next weapon I'm referring to is none other than the Xenophage. This gun here had a really rocky start. It is, yes, 13 rounds. I know that's the first thing I caught your eye. 13 rounds. What? 13 incredibly hard-hitting rounds. This particular machine gun, it started out live to the point nobody was using it. It got a 50% damage buff, which is, by the way, for those of you who have no idea what I mean by buff, its damage was increased, doubled in PvE. This thing quickly became raid boss meta, to the point of where if you didn't have Xeno, it was almost like you had to hope and pray you had something else that you could do that much damage with. This gun does not do crit damage, but once the enemy is hit with, say, breach and clear, or say divinity even, this thing really shows colors. We're talking like 35,000-40,000 damage per shot. But the thing is, though, it doesn't fire like, say, your typical machine gun. It fires more like a cross between a grenade launcher and a fully automatic shotgun. It's a very unusual weapon in itself, but good lord, this thing hits like a truck. The best way to get a lot of damage out of this gun is Actium War Rig, a Rally Barricade, or a Well of Radiance. Or if you're a hunter, when you run out of ammo, do your reload dodge and then swap from there. Now, this next one is another machine gun that does precision damage, and a lot of it, really fast. But this is one of my all-time personal favorite weapons to use ever. And I, of course, am talking about none other than what came out a couple of Guardian games ago, the Heir Apparent. This monster is the same weapon the Cabal Colossus use. This thing is just pure evil in gun form. It is weaponized hate. When you spin this gun up and you have health and you have some health in your bar, you get an arc shield. You get an overshield. All right, 200 rounds a minute, but the gun does get a little crazy, so don't worry about that. But at the same time, you know, you have the same power as a Cabal Colossus. You can go around and bully them for once, instead of, you know, you being bullied by them. Where this gun really excels is when you have like Charge of Light, High Energy Fire, and you're on a Titan with, say, Actium War Rig. This gun here, with that, and you go up against the boss with that particular setup, you're going to tear through them like they're paper. This thing is the single nuttiest gun I've ever seen. Like I said, 200 rounds a minute, and a single burp from this gun, you'll tear through a whole crowd of ads. I use this gun in GOS a lot, and I will tear through 2 angelics before the runner gets over there to help me deal with the third. Because I see that tether box lock, and I spin this gun up, and by the time they turn their shields, they're dead. That is the power. That is how much this gun is effective. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this style of video. If you did, please like, comment, share down below. Like, comment down below, and share. As a matter of fact, let me know what some of your favorite weapons are and some of your favorite roles that you have. Alright, I really want to know. Alright, I really want to know. By all means, let me know. As always, you guys, y'all take care. Y'all stay safe out there. God bless every single one of you who subscribed, and y'all have a wonderful day.